Everybody, welcome to the Insight Meditation Community of Charlotte. And in the old days, we used to get up and greet each other. So in lieu of that, I guess if you can just in honoring the topic tonight, which is Thich Nhat Hanh, let's just turn to each other and smile so we can see it in our eyes, you know, when you smile. So let's do that. You guys can do that in Zoom, just kind of smile. And I just want to say it's wonderful to see you Zoomers and those of you here. Thank you. So I'm Debbie George, one of your Dharma leaders. It's been a while. I was on a sort of a sabbatical, but I'm back and happy to be back. And happy that you're all here with us, either at home or here. So tonight's talk is dedicated to the life of Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh. And it's an honor to share a bit of who he was and what he taught. Fascinating, part human. So he's one of the great Buddhist teachers of our time. Thank you. Thich Nhat Hanh, he died a few weeks ago at the monastery in Hue, Vietnam, where he was ordained at 16 years old. He wrote over 70 books and taught for over 70 years and is renowned as the founder of the engaged Buddhist movement. Thai, as his followers affectionately call him, brought the practice of peace to politics, society, and the environment. He coined the term interbeing, which was central to his teachings. He writes, "To be, you have to interbe. You cannot just be by yourself alone. You have to interbe with every other thing." Melvin McLeod, editor-in-chief of the Practitioner's Quarterly Buddha Dharma and the monthly wonderful magazine Lion's Roar, he wrote in his introduction to the popular Pocket Thich Nhat Hanh, which I think is a great book. He said, we gauge the greatness of spiritual teachers by the depth, breadth, and impact of their teachings, and by the examples their lives set for us. By all these measures, Thich Nhat Hanh is one of the leading spiritual masters of our age. In fact, when the time has come to judge such things, I think he'll be considered one of history's great Buddhist masters. These teachings cannot be fathomed by words. All I can say is that you should not be misled by their apparent simplicity, by their directness, practicality, and relevance that could be taken for a lack of philosophical sophistication. It takes a long journey in which the problems of life are finally resolved in plain, essential language that makes deep truths available to all who want to see them. So now we'll turn to Wikipedia for some background info. Thich Nhat Hanh was born October 11th in 1926, the fifth of 6 children, raised in a large extended family at his grandmother's house. He recalled feeling joy at the age of 7 or 8 after he saw a drawing of a peaceful Buddha sitting on the grass. At 12, he expressed interest in becoming a monk. His reluctant parents allowed it at 16. He studied, received training in the Mahayana and Theravada Buddhist traditions, and then supported himself by selling books and poetry while attending Saigon University, where he studied science. He taught a reformed Buddhism that was unpopular with the Buddhist hierarchical Buddhist hierarchy, political in Vietnam. In 1960, he accepted the Fulbright Scholarship to Princeton for comparative religion. And in 62, he taught Buddhism at Columbia University and then at Cornell. By then, he'd gained fluency in French, classical Chinese, Sanskrit, Pali, and English, in addition to his native Vietnamese. In the ensuing years, he worked to establish peaceful efforts, including publications, the Order of Interbeing, his ordained community of monastics, and as well as a group of lay people. And he led protests against the war. In 1964, he co-founded the School of Youth for Social Services, SYSS, a neutral corps of Buddhist peace workers who went into rural villages to establish schools, healthcare clinics, and rebuild villages. In 1966, he left for the US and was not allowed to return until recent years. He met Martin Luther King and urged him to come out against the Vietnam War. They became friends, and in 1967, King nominated Thich Nhat Hanh for the Nobel Peace Prize. King said, quote, "I do not personally know of anyone more worthy of the Nobel Peace Prize than this gentle monk from Vietnam. His idea for peace, if applied, would build a brotherhood to humanity." Later in 66, he took refuge in France and years later established Plum Village, the largest Buddhist monastery in Europe and America, with over 200 monastics and 10,000 visitors a year. Nhat Hanh began teaching mindfulness in the mid-70s with his books, particularly The Miracle of Mindfulness, serving as the main vehicle for his early teachings. In an interview for the NPR program On Being, he said that the miracle of mindfulness was quote, written for our social workers first in Vietnam, because they were living in a situation where the danger of dying was there every day. So out of compassion and every willingness to help them continue their work, it was written as a practice manual. After that, many friends in the West, they think it is helpful for them, so we allow it to be translated into English. End quote. These are the early seeds of his foundational teachings that mindfulness is a practice that can save your life and give you strength to work in the face of great danger. In 1975, the communist regime banned his publications. He began to lead efforts to rescue the boat people fleeing for their lives from their war-torn country. He's been quoted often saying, quote, "When the crowded Vietnamese refugee boats met with storms or pirates, if everyone panicked, all would be lost. But if one person on the boat stayed calm and centered, it was enough. It shows a way for everyone to survive." And you'll hear that quote again toward the end of this talk. Again from MacLeod, quote, "Like all great Buddhist teachers, he is above all a teacher of meditation. He offers us profound and practical methods we can use both in our formal meditation practice and in our lives." End quote. So whatever you're facing in your life right now, let's try out a bit of his guidance. Close your eyes if you like. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. Dwelling in the present moment. It is a wonderful moment. So continue, let's take a moment to feel these words, breathing in, calming, calming. Breathing out, I smile. You might feel the joy in the smiling. What is that like for you, smiling? Does it make less room for mental chatter, for judgment, fear, anger? When thinking is interrupted, we're free in those moments. So much of the time we're lost in thought. And I emphasize the word lost. Ultimately, we want to learn to live mindfully, and this master teacher gave us tools to take the practice from the cushion into any moment of the day's activities. He counseled us to pause, to go home to this present moment, body and mind meeting here and now in this breath. Centering ourselves, we are available to lovingly respond to the needs of others in this hurting world, interbeing with everything. Paraphrase from MacLeod, as a bodhisattva, one whose liberation from suffering is intertwined with the liberation of all, his teachings are imbued with compassion for oneself, for another, for all, the planet, the forgotten, all living beings. Until all are healed, none is healed. So as I've worked to heal my suffering, my stresses, I'm more available to help others. Through compassion, he taught me to cradle my stress, hold my fears, my insecurities, like a baby. My anger, rocking and listening to it as a loving mother would do. Soothing myself, calming myself, I can heal. Healing myself, I can be available and even eager to help others. So I'm in my 22nd year of teaching a spiritual form of yoga versus a fitness form. And Thich Nhat Hanh's writings have been featured in lots of my teaching over the years. And here's my favorite that I've used. And again, up to you if you want eyes open or closed. Our true home is in the present moment. To live in the present moment is a miracle. The miracle is to walk on the green earth in the present moment, to experience the peace and beauty that are available now. Peace is in the world, in our bodies and in nature. Once we learn to touch this peace, we will be healed and transformed. This is not a matter of faith. It is a matter of practice. For me, so often it feels like there truly is no peace, so in myself or in the world. The news tells us that there's so much escalating danger, so much killing, starvation, freezing refugees dying or barely surviving. Politics imbued with hatred, anger, etc., anger on the roads. Isn't it kind of outrageous that Thich Nhat Hanh says, still peace is always available in this moment, in this breath, this body, in nature. Sky, a bird, a bug just being a bug. There's so much peace we can access in any moment. And it is true, peace begins with me, with each of us, and then us together. It's truly a matter of practice. And by the way, it's not our job to fix the whole world. I had to find that out. Just doing our little part affects the whole. So I've been using this lately, this breathing in, calming, breathing out, smiling. And you drop the words after a while. You just, as you breathe in, you just go to this sense of calm. As you breathe out, you just go to this sense of lightness, like a smile, like a joy. Brings like joy, actually spoke about last week, gratitude. Just to kind of remind you, this moment is good enough to be grateful for. So to give us more of a sense of what he taught, here's a few of his book titles that I took off of Amazon, and four of them I have. They're all 5-star books. Okay. You Are Here, Discovering the Magic of the Present Moment. You guys will know a lot of these. Peace in Every Step, The Path of Mindfulness in Everyday Life. Living Buddha, Living Christ. No Mud, No Lotus, The Art of Transforming Suffering. Fear, Essential Wisdom for Getting Through the Storm. Zen and the Art of Saving the Planet. The Pocket, Thich Nhat Hanh. And now I'll share a few quotes that I think are representative of his teaching. Root out the aggression in your life and learn to live compassionately and mindfully. Seek peace. When you have peace within, real peace with others is possible. Our world is full of hatred and violence because we do not take the time to nourish the love and compassion that are already in our hearts. Finally, I think this longer one sums up what this whole path calls us to do in his simple words. There are times when your joy produces a smile. There are also times when a smile causes relaxation, calm, and joy. I do not wait until there's joy in me to smile. Joy will come later. Sometimes when I'm alone in my room in the dark, I practice smiling to myself. I do this to be kind to myself, to take good care of myself, to love myself. I know that if I cannot take care of myself, I cannot take care of anyone else. Being compassionate to yourself is a very important practice. When you are tired, angry, or in despair, you should know how to go back to yourself and take care of your tiredness, your anger, and your despair. That is why we practice smiling, mindful walking and breathing, and mindful eating. So I'll finish with a post by Jack Cornfield on his Instagram page from January 22nd. Thich Nhat Hanh, beloved teacher and friend, monk and visionary, died today at 95. He was and is one of the greatest teachers of our age. Though he endured both suffering and exile, he continuously gave his wisdom and heart fully to this world. As a Zen master, one of his special gifts was to offer the deepest realizations and profound essence of Dharma in exquisitely simple and immediate ways. Clear and sublime teachings that awakened all who listened and read. His encouraging words often included this story. When the crowded Vietnamese refugee boats met with storms or pirates, if everyone panicked, all would be lost. But even if one person on the boat stayed calm and centered, it was enough. It shows a way for everyone to survive. In a magnificent way, he continues, Thich Nhat Hanh became that steady and wise one, showing the way for us all, crossing the seas of this world. Even now, he reminds us that he did not die. He is not gone. He said, I am life without boundaries. I have never been born and I have never died. End quote. All that he touched is still alive in us, infinitely tender and wise. May we forever carry his spirit and blessings. May we become that steady, loving, wise one on the ever-changing seas of this world. Blessings and love, Jack. So let's end breathing in, calming, calming, calming. Breathing out, smiling, smiling. Thank you, everyone.